I'm Luke Hatfield. I'm joined by Tim Spears, our Wolves correspondent here at the Express and Star. So Tim, Wolves have done it, they've got promoted. It looks like they're going to be able to seal the title. Obviously take on Bolton this weekend, any result really pretty much guarantees them the title. There's a lot of loanees, Wolves have done a lot of good business, especially over the summer. But which of those loanees do you think are going to be hanging around for Premier League action next season?
Well, yeah, good question. I mean, it's decision time now, isn't it, really? Wolves have got these 6 loanees, they've got deals in place to buy all of them.
Yeah.
And now they were anyway, but now they can fully concentrate on planning for the Premier League and what's going to be a fascinating summer, and we know they'll have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
We know they'll be looking at the loan market again. We know they'll be looking at upgrading in certain positions, and yes, making some of these loan signings permanent, because there's a case for all of them, really.
Yeah.
If you go through, I mean, Jota's obviously, it's a done deal. Going to be about 12-13 million quid. It's done.
Just waiting for the announcement.
Yeah, and he will become a Wolves player permanently, which is fantastic, by the way. What season he's had 17 goals, really, and you know, his first season in English football, I think he's coped remarkably well with the physicality of it as well. He's been kicked to kingdom come week after week, but he's got up and dusted himself down, and he had a bit of a dip, but he's come on quite strong now towards the end of the season. Got a couple of crucial goals scored again at the weekend, of course. So yeah, that's a done deal. And Willy Bolly is out of the 6 players. I think Jota and Bolly are the ones you say, look, you've got to have these guys in your team next season in the Premier League. And Willy Bolly, pretty much as good a centre half as I've seen at Molineux. You know,
he's pretty much a Premier League player. He's ready, Premier League ready, right?
I think so. I think his only weakness this season is it's been too easy for him at times. I think his concentration levels have slipped on rare occasions. But yeah, I think he'll make that step up. I really do, and I think he'll make a big impact in the Premier League next year. So yeah, so there's those 2, and then Benik Afobe. Is a funny one really, because he's scored 5 goals. He's only made 5 starts. And I think the question with Afobe is, I think he will score goals, but is he a Nuno player? Because when they brought him in, I thought, you know, this as much as I rate Afobe, he didn't come across a natural fit, you know, him and Nuno. But I think we saw, for example, at Cardiff away, where he played on the right of the front 3, an unusual position. He had to do a lot of defending and tracking back, and he did it well. He did a job for the team, and that shows that to me that he really couldn't have done much more. And you know, 5 goals isn't a huge amount, but again, if you look at the minutes he's played, and you look at the ways he's adapted his game to try and suit Nuno's style, I'm not sure he could do much more. So, if they've got a good deal in place, which I believe they have, that's not going to cost the earth, then he might come in as well. Yeah,
because he's got Premier League experience as well, hasn't he, already?
He has, and like so many of the rest of the squad, he's still improving, he's still getting better, and Wolves as a club is a good fit for him, and he's got the hunger and the desire, I think, and I think he'll have a lot to prove in the Premier League if Wolves would sign him, because he hasn't lived up to his reputation or his billing. You know, when he joined Bournemouth for £10 million, you know, you wouldn't exactly call him a failure, but he didn't do what he wanted to, and Bournemouth fans certainly don't seem too disappointed to be seeing the back of him. So he's certainly got a point to prove. He wants to prove that he's good enough for the Premier League.
Yeah. What about Bonatini, his strike partner?
I don't think they'll sign both. I don't, and you know, I like Bonatini and I like what he can bring to the table, and I've said a few times, there are so many away games in the Premier League next year where Wolves are going to have their backs to the wall, which is something they're not used to, and they're going to need someone to hold that ball up, and link play up front, and you know, work his backside off for 90 minutes, which Bonatini will give you. The only problem with him is he hasn't scored for so long now. December the 4th, it continues. His confidence is gone, and the stuff that he does well, that isn't about scoring, which, like I said, holding the ball up in the link-up play, he's not doing that as well now. His confidence is completely gone. But he'll be the cheapest of the lot. Tough one. I don't think they'll sign both. I think they'll want a couple of proven Premier League players in the key positions, and you know, that spine of the team is so important. And you know, Ruddy, we'll see. But then you've got Cody and Bolly at the back. You've got Neves in the middle, and I think you need that focal point up front. So, whether it's going to be Afobe, I don't think it'll be Bonatini, and I don't think they'll sign both. But if they do, there is a role for him to play in the Premier League next year.
It certainly is, and a couple of others, of course, Alfred N'Jai and Ruben Vinagre.
Vinagre, we haven't seen for a long time. Barry Douglas has completely nailed down that left wing spot with all his plethora of assists and great set pieces, and his defensive games come on. So Vinagre, he made an impact in the first half of the season. The thing with him is his potential is huge. He's a kid. I think he's 19 now. He's with Monaco, obviously. His potential is huge, but is it a priority for Wolves this summer to sign a guy who's not going to be first choice wing back in the Premier League next year? You know, I'd love to see Barry Douglas given a shot in the Premier League, but you do wonder if they're going to bring in, you know, an expensive left wing back to maybe have Douglas's place or compete with Douglas, or, you know, will Douglas be backup or will he be first choice? These are so many questions that Wolves have got to answer. So if Vinagre is maybe third choice, I'm not sure that it'll be a priority to spend money on him, but like I said, the potential is huge.
Yeah, so you could sign him in theory and then loan him out if folks think, well, you know, we can build some value with him.
And yeah, they've certainly got the money to do that and the resources to do that. And yeah, they've got a lot of players out on loan this year. There's going to be a massive clear out of players who've really been on the fringes and not really featured for Wolves' first team. There'll be a lot of that this summer. So we'll see. Interesting one. He's certainly got huge potential anyway. And then Alfred Njai is the last one.
Yeah.
So again, he hasn't started much, but he makes a contribution. You know, every time he plays, we saw him providing the assist for Afobe's goal on Sunday. I think he brings something really good to the party, something that nobody else in the squad can do. You know, he's a bit of a destroyer in the middle of the park. He can play up front, by the way. He's done that from the bench a few times, just to kind of help see games out. Very strong, very physical, good at getting in the box as well. He's you know, decent in the air. So again, you can make a case for him. It's just going to be Wolves' priorities and how many players they want to sign. Do they want to risk breaking up this team at all? But again, you've got to have that proven Premier League quality, and of course they've got George Mendes who can pretty much get them not almost any player they want, but you know, as good as it certainly feels that way. There are no limits to him. So I would say Wolves will probably sign about 2 or 3 of these, and then they'll spend a lot of money in the summer on filling the rest of that squad and that team.
There you have it then. So plenty of decisions still to be made over a number of Wolves loanees. For the latest on them, make sure you stay with us at expressandstar.com.